guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a pitfall that a lot of my students sometimes fall in, and also some other people that I see. Sometimes I see it happen in the practice, like other b-boys. They're actually kind of good, but they still fall into the same category. And well, mostly it happens with the kids, but sometimes also happens with adults. So what is it? Well, it's very simple. Basically, knowledge is power, right? But if you have knowledge and you do nothing with it, nothing will happen. And repetition is key when it comes to practicing both moves and steps. So my classes started again, and I encountered the same problem yet again. So when I teach, I usually teach new footwork, but today, as an example, we're going to talk about the Zulu spin. Right? That's a very simple footwork step. I hope you know it, but I did a tutorial on it. You can check that out if you want. It's not really necessary. It's just an example, right? So basically, I explained how the Zulu spin works, right? It's a very simple trick. You keep this leg completely straight. When you move around, you have to make that turn, so you keep rotating like this, right? And that is actually what the Zulu spin is. You can actually variate a lot in this move, but that's the move. Good. So first, as a teacher, I of course make sure that everybody understands how the move works and they can sort of do it. Then I say, okay guys, now I'll give you 5 minutes, make a little freestyle and use this step in it. So you make sure you can actually use it, right? 5 minutes is not a lot of time, but then depending, mostly with the kids you have this, but sometimes with the adults, like I said, okay, like 2-3 kids practice, 2-3 kids or 2 kids actually practice only once, and they think that's enough, so they practice it once. And 2 or 3 kids or students basically do nothing, so they just kick each other, or if they're older, usually they just start talking with each other, or they just sit there with a glazed look on their face, right? And then after the 5 minutes, say, okay guys, let's put the music on, let's make a little cipher, right? And everybody show me, what did you just make, right? Let's see if you can do it. So after 5 minutes, especially if it's a new step, the people that did practice usually can execute it, kind of, right? Maybe it's not the best because 5 minutes is a very short time, but at least they can execute it and actually freestyle a little bit with it. The people that practice it once in those 5 minutes and then just sat down and think they already did it, they can do it, but it looks terrible. Like the execution is shit. So they can do it and then they try to combine it with other moves and they cannot, right? They didn't do enough. And then the people that did nothing, well, they usually don't even understand what's going on. I say, what am I supposed to do? Right, okay, didn't you just listen, right? So, but that's my students, but actually I also see other people fall into the same category. And this is like a tutorial, right? A lot of tutorials on my channel, but also other people have very good tutorials on their channel. And also very, very hard move, like, let's say the air flare or, you know, air chair hold, something like that, some crazy moves like that, right? And people teach that, and they teach it on a correct manner, I hope, right? So they teach it, and you have the knowledge how to do it. And then you go to the practice and practice it once. Or not even worse, you're just sitting on a chair watching it and then not doing nothing with it. Nothing will happen, guys. Simple repetition is the key. So when we talk about that Zulu spin, and especially if you practice alone or with people, but you're jamming, doing footwork, try to do the Zulu spin at least 50 times in the practice, right? So then, in the beginning, it's kind of iffy, and then after a while, you get used to it. But you can just do 5. Like, let's say I'm going to do very slow now, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done, right? So now I did 5, and I'm going to do that 10 more times. And each time I do it a little bit faster. And then after you got that down, and you did like 50 times in the practice, and you do this for 1 or 2 weeks, right? You try to really also always use it in your footwork. So when you're jamming and you're freestyling, boom, you try to use this move at least a little bit, maybe do 2-3 times. Then you try to also find ways to combine with your moves. In this case, it's very simple. But of course, the Zulu spin is an example. There are also moves that's quite hard to combine with other moves, but you find the right ways. And then you have that move on lock. More with footwork steps, doesn't have to take that long, but you do have to buckle down and practice, right? It's simple repetition, guys. That's all you need. Practice. Don't just watch tutorials. Don't just go to a class and just do it when the teacher's in front of you. You gotta practice yourself. And what do you get back instead of that? Okay, I have to take 5 minutes to practice. Man, you unlock stuff, and you got new footwork, and you got new steps, and you got new moves. That's all you need, guys. Basically, I'd rather have someone that's not talented, right, but knows how to practice and knows that repetition is the key, than someone who's very talented, learns like this, right? You teach them something new, boom, they got it. They don't practice at all. Because eventually, even those talented people will hit that roadblock, right? That you cannot go further because you simply don't practice and don't repeat the same stuff enough, right? That's all you need. At some point, you might be on a very high level, but then, of course, don't have to follow me anymore. But you know, then it's different. But till that time, always repeat your moves as much as you can in the practice. And after a while, after you unlocked it, you don't have to do that anymore. You can even leave the move sort of alone, right? If you're talking about the Zulu spin, okay, I have it unlocked. I don't have to actually do it again because I know how to use this move in my footwork. But till that time, practice, repeat, 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 repeat. When I give you 5 minutes, practice in those 5 minutes. When you practice alone, try to do it as much as you can. And you get very good at the move and you unlock something new. And like I said, the Zulu spin is an example, but it's for all moves, all transitions, everything. Practice like that and you'll get better, right? See you next time.